first DJing, when I first started out, I had a difficult time keeping girlfriends. And I'm sure a lot of it had to do with my youth and that I was a bit of a spaz and I was not the most responsible human being in the world. But what always came up as a reason oftentimes was that the person I was dating felt they had to compete with what I did for a living. You know what I mean by that? I mean, they see us and they think we're out there having a good time and flirting with girls, and there's women around us all the time and there's guys around us all the time, and I just can't compete with that. Plus I don't get to see you on the weekends, and honestly, very often it had to do with jealousy around that certain thing. What I found over the years is that came out of miscommunication on my part. First of all, I had one, by the way, I'm Bill Hermann with Creative License. Thanks again for being a part of the podcast. I had a rule after a little while that I was just going to stop dating people that I met at work, which is a really good idea anyway. What's the old saying? You don't poop where you eat. Okay, so there's a reason for that. There's a lot of things that happen. You're a different kind of a person in a work atmosphere, and especially us. If you think about it, we are paid every single day to stand in front of an audience, whether we're just spinning discs or using a microphone or being an actor on stage or doing a karaoke show or whatever that is you are as a performance artist. You're being paid really to be the most attractive person in the room. Attractive meaning you can attract people to who you are and what you're doing. You can talk people into the idea of the fun that you're bringing to the table so that everyone wants to be around you, wants to play with you, wants to get to know you. That's how we get people to do things in a bar or in a restaurant or a wedding or whatever those things are, is you need to become the person in the room that everybody thinks is the coolest and the best looking and the most attractive just because of who you are as a person, right? So if you find someone who wants to date you through that, they don't get to know you, okay? That's not really who you are. If that's you 100% of the time, then you're going to have some issues later trying to hold on to that sucker. Nobody is like that all the time. We know how to turn it off. We can turn it off and turn it on. That's just our survival techniques, right? And it wasn't until I kind of figured that out that I began to have a communicative conversation with the people that I would be dating, okay? And make sure they get that, this is me, and this is what I do for a living. This is me, and this is the guy I bring to the job. Now, as I get older, that person is more the same person, if that makes any sense. That's something we can talk about another time. But when it comes down to it, then people need to understand that our job is a job like any others. My wife goes and cuts hair every day. She has men and women sitting in a booth, and she makes them feel attractive and feel wonderful, and so much so that they want to stand up and they hug her, and they have a really connective relationship with them, very much like us. So for me to be jealous of that work relationship is kind of silly, right? Well, people just need to understand. You don't need to make people wrong, make them feel badly because they don't understand this, but people who don't work in the entertainment business don't really understand it. So being able to make sure that people get that about you as you get to know them, and or if you're married and you're having an issue with this, why aren't you talking about it? If you're in a heavy relationship or you're hoping to be in a heavy relationship, people need to understand that our job looks like it's our life, is like who exactly we are, and it just is not. So being able to be communicative, and I've used communicative 4 times now, and I'm not even sure if that's a real word. So you got to communicate. They got to get it. And you need to understand that you see the world in a much different way than the rest of the world sees the world, right? And as soon as you understand that, then you start to understand and see where they're coming from. And if you can see where they're coming from, then you can actually be mindful of that and caring of that and loving of that. And now you can have a home life where you can get excited about what you do and share it with those people in your life. And they see that there is a line between Bill the DJ and dad and husband and friend You know what I'm saying? Have you had this issue? Have you figured out a way to make it clearer? Is communication the key for you, or have you just given up and said, nobody's going to understand? I want to know. Write it in the comments. Send me a note. If you'd like to know more about my workshop, I always tell you about my workshop, but I've got one, 2, 3 times a year. You go to entertainment-experience.com, or you can email at bill@billherman.com. I want to know more. Until next time, I'll see you on Creative License.